Hello everyone, this is Spinalugia Guardian, also known as Lex Historia on vid.me, and now we're going to do part 2 of how to draw a hand wearing a golf glove video. Once again, this is my character Shirley's hand we drew in the previous video, and now we're going to draw in the golf glove part of this glove. So, let's get started. So, what we do to draw a golf glove is we start with the top of the pinky fingers, or where the pinky finger meets the ring finger, and we draw this line up to the wrist, all the way up to the wrist. And that's actually a little too long, but we will erase that later. And that's about, yeah. Alright, and now the next thing we do is we draw a V shape at the top of this line, where this line meets the wrist line. So we draw in this part here for the cuff of the glove, and then we draw this, and that's about right, more or less. Actually, this V shape needs to be a little bit wider. And that's about right. Now we put in the... Alright, there we are. We've got the V in place. So the next thing we do is we draw a line from the top of this V all the way across the wrist. And there we are, that's about right. And we're going to now do the same thing here, producing a line at the back. Let me actually zoom in so I can show you. Alright, what this actually is it's a line going back behind the wrist, and ultimately would meet up all the way around the other side with this part of the glove. But we won't draw that because it's behind the wrist. So the next thing we do is we draw in the fold that meets up with the top of the cuff of this glove. And now we do the exact same thing on this side, just like that. And there we go. So now we have more or less the glove's basic shape complete, except for this top strap, or rather this top Velcro part. So let's do that. In order to do this, every golf glove has a top Velcro strap. And this is to hold the glove securely in place, because these gloves are actually so tight that you cannot get them on and off without opening them up. So in order to get them on and off, you have to open this Velcro strap. And this facilitates, there we go, the golf glove fitting on there tight and becoming more or less like a second skin. So as you can grip the club right, and not have the club slip around in your hand, which can ruin your shot and, of course, ruin your aim and make your golf ball go where you do not want it to go. This is why getting your golf glove size right is so crucial, because if you're wearing too loose of a glove, your hand's going to slide around inside the glove, and the club is going to slide around in your hand, and you're not going to be able to make the ball go anywhere near where you want it to go. And if the golf glove is too tight, you aren't going to be able to grip the club effectively, and the club will slide around in your hand, and in addition, it'll very quickly wear a hole in the glove. So get your size right. Although in general, because these golf gloves are made of material that stretches after a few wears, it's generally better to, if you're between sizes, to get a size smaller, rather the smaller of the two sizes you have. Like if you're between a medium large and a medium, get the medium, because it'll eventually stretch to fit your hand, well, like a glove. Pardon the pun. I'm just on a roll today with puns. But you'll notice what I've done here is I have more or less tried to make this into a square shape. Alright, that's about right. So the next thing we're going to do is erase this, and the reason I'm doing that is because on the gloves that I am using as a reference, a photo reference for this, they have this little rectangle shape of extra fabric that forms a line up on the top of the cuff of the glove, and it goes all the way down underneath the strap, right under here. And it sort of covers the gap that would be left by the top strap and the gap here closing over the hand. Not all golf gloves have like this fabric strap accentuating it, but the ones I'm using as a reference do. So let's just dash that in. What we do here is we draw in the line of the fabric as it crosses over the top of the cuff of the glove, and then we do the exact same thing here. We put it right there. Alright, and there we go. That's complete. So what we now have is the mostly complete golf glove. We have the top strap, which is velcroed in place. We have the V shape. So if you wanted to, you technically could stop here if like you're going for a really simplified golf glove. I'm not satisfied with that. I'm going to go a little bit more into detail. So what we are going to do next is add in the seams. So what you do is you add in the thumb seam. Every single golf glove here is a thumb seam, which at this angle is just one diagonal line. Now, if you were to have your hand forced out like that, it'd be a much more difficult seam to draw, but maybe I'll get into that in another video. And let's get back to the golf glove and make sure we have this right. Let me see. Yeah, actually, I think it needs to go a little bit higher, and there we go. So now the next thing we do is we draw in the seam of the... Hold on, you can't see what I'm doing. Let me fix that. All right, there we are. So the seam of where the fabric of the top of the glove connects to the fabric on the bottom of the glove. And we are just going to try and connect this right. And we want to keep this line very thin because, once again, this is just a seam line. And those lines are always very thin. And now we add this. And, all right, there we are. All right, that is, actually, that needs to be brought down a little bit. Because this is actually going to sort of go into the side, and yeah, there we are. So, hold on, let me just check my photo reference just to make certain I have this right. Okay, yeah, just as I thought. It is indeed have a line that extends all the way up to here. It's a seam line, it's a basic line. And yeah, this goes about right. Actually, I think it goes a little higher up, actually. Always good to use photo references. So let's do that, and there we go. All right, so that basically completes the lines of the seams on the thumb, and now we do the exact same lines or seam lines on the bottom of the glove, or sorry, the other fingers of the glove. And yeah, that's about right there. And what we're going to do now is add in the ventilation holes, I think is what they're called. And most golf gloves have these in the top of the glove for ventilation, because if they didn't, your hands would get rather hot, because these things are generally made out of leather. And leather in like 80-degree heat can be rather hot. And if you live somewhere like Miami, where the average temperature gets up over 100 relatively routinely, you can imagine that you'd be sweating bullets if you didn't have some way for your hands to be ventilated. And that would also ruin your grip on your club, which, once again, bad grip means your ball goes where you don't want it to go. So let's just get back to drawing, and let me get off of my random facts about golf, the tangents that I'm going on. All right, so let's just start. Let's see here. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 on the pointer finger. So every single golf glove, more or less, has these little holes. And I think they are just called ventilation holes. And in order to keep this relatively simple, I'm going to just simply draw this here, and there is a total of 10 ventilation holes in the golf glove that I'm using as a reference. So let me see here. If I were to do this, then yeah, I think I just do this here, and then I do this here, and then here, and then here, and then here, and then here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. There we are. That's almost done. Actually, I drew these up a little too far, so I'm going to move them back down. Or I guess rather up, because the glove is pointing down, so down the glove's orientation is up at our orientation, relatively speaking. And yeah, that seems to be good enough. I made the holes a little big, so I will make them smaller ultimately in post. They're just supposed to be barely punched into there, just enough to allow for ventilation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. This one has, so the middle finger actually has 11 ventilation holes. So 1 and 2. And so let me do this. 1 and 2. You know, I think I'm actually going to deviate from the actual source material, because I don't think I actually have enough room on the finger to draw a total of 10 ventilation holes for the glove itself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then of course 1 and 2. And let me just erase that. So 1 and 2. Let me draw 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. All right, there we are. That's good enough. And once again, if you don't get things exactly right, thanks to digital technology, when you scan this into your computer, you can micro-adjust things, and you can make the holes look exactly how you want them to. They're mostly turning out exactly how I envision them, so let's just keep going. 1 and 2, and then of course 1 and 2. And of course, for cartoon characters, my general approach is if there's something getting in your way, that is like, if it's between drawing realistic badly or cartoonish and good, draw cartoonish and good. At least for the type of character that I'm doing. I mean, there's a reason why characters in cartoons have had only a thumb and 3 fingers on each hand, which I guess would be a total of 4 fingers on each hand. And now pinky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so 7. So I'm going to draw this here and this here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so 7, 1 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, so 1, 2, 3, yeah, 2, so 1 and 2. Now we draw in the last of the ventilation holes in the top of the glove. And once again, if you're drawing the glove from far enough away, you don't need to put in all of this detail. Me, I'm just going above and beyond to show you a much more detailed glove than needs to be shown for most purposes. All right, now let's get in the ventilation holes on the thumb, and let me look at my source material. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. And they start right up here at the beginning of the thumb. So let's finish this off, and then we'll be done. Well, actually, one last thing we have to do. We have to draw in the stitching, and then we'll be done. So let's get that done. Do that in time lapse. All right, that's a single layer of stitching. I'll probably add a double layer of stitching in post. Now let's draw in a logo on the back, and then we'll be done. And we'll do this in time lapse. And there we are. We are done. So thank you for watching this how to draw video, and until next time, take care. Peace.